Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are going to be opening 10 packs in total of Topps Premier League season cards, and we're going to be using those packs to build my teams for the Premier League this game week. So we have 5 packs for each team in total, and I can only use players in those packs. We're going to go right into them now and let's see what we get. So guys, getting into the best part of the video, we have ourselves 10 Topps Kick packs to open, and let's get right into it. This is going to be team number 1, and this is going to be team number 2. Let's get straight into ripping them, and fingers crossed we can get ourselves the players that are at least somewhat decent. So we're going to get into pack number 1 here. We have Joseph, Dan Neil, Huijsen, who obviously we can't use, Arsenal, Mikkel Damsgaard, Isidore, Muniz, Matty Cash, and thankfully we have got ourselves a goalkeeper already. So we have ourselves Alisson Becker, who might for now have to be used, and Jacob Ramsey to finish off pack number 1. I mean, if we can get a signed card, any of you guys who have watched any Topps packs being opened, these are obviously the cheapest of the bunch. But there we have, so we have Gustavo Nunes, Anton Robinson, who isn't back from injury yet, Krupi, who's been pretty good for Bournemouth, he could be a potential striker, but Saka, that might be the one that we have to go with up top. Pro Precision, Diogo Jota, rest in peace, Matt O'Reilly, Breakthrough Baller, Archie Gray, who doesn't really get much game time for Spurs. For Crystal Palace, we have the Crystal Palace badge. Eric Konsa, who may be the centre-back of choice, and Eddie Nketiah, who doesn't really get much game time for Nottingham Forest. That is 2 packs down, and we have 3 to go for team number 1. So team number 1 currently, Alisson Becker and Saka will be definite players to go in there. So Somerville's probably going to be a no. Anthony's going to be a no. Colwill is currently still injured. Kirkes potentially for Liverpool as a defender. Konate could go with Alisson. Savio doesn't really get much game time. Murillo, and look at that. That is a 62 to 499 of Josko Gvardiol, and that card actually looks absolutely insane, and is definitely the first defender that we could use to go into this team. Mohamed Salah, another potential option, going to the African Cup of Nations soon, and Ollie Watkins, who has had a stinker, an absolute stinker of a season. That is 3 packs down. We have 2 left to rip through. It's looking pretty good for team number 1 so far, which I'm very thankful for, because we did not want to get an absolute horrendous set of players that we weren't going to be able to hit some streaks with. So in this one, I don't even know how to pronounce that guy's name, Michaelenko, Harvey Barnes, Archie Gray again, Evan Nilsson. Sorry if I'm moving these off camera. This is my first time doing this, so you guys are going to have to give me a bit of a break. And Ndiaye for Everton, Tyreek Mitchell, who's been pretty good for Crystal Palace of late, Lenny Euro for United, Ruben Dias could go for a double Man City defence, and then Murillo as the final player in that pack. And the 5th and final pack to decide the team, I'll show you guys the actual team that we choose after we've ripped through all of these packs. So the 5th and final pack is going to be Mbeumo, really nice option for United, Rodrigo Muniz, who doesn't really start much, Beto in the same boat, doesn't really start, comes on as a sub for Everton. Pedro Neto is having one of his best seasons so far for Chelsea. But a pro precision Phil Foden, get him in the team. He has been absolutely insane, especially last night in City's questionable 5-4 win to Fulham. Breakthrough baller Lewis Skelly. Pro partnership of the Burnley players, probably won't be using that one. Nico Gonzalez, potential with Rodri out. Garnacho for Chelsea. And Joe Gomez. So that is pack, or a set of packs number 5. I can't even speak. That is set of packs number 1. And team 1 will be made of all of those players. So Team 1 packs have been done and dusted. We're now going to go into the next set of 5. We picked up a really nice number, Gavardiol. I mean, it would be absolutely insane if we could get a signed card or any of the other special editions. But pack number 1 for team number 2. So we have Todibo, Estev, Cliver, who doesn't get much game time. I think he's recovering from injury. Saliba, who I believe is still out at the moment for Arsenal. Beto, once again, doesn't really get much game time. João Gomez, Cucurella. That is definitely one that we could use as our first defender for team number 2. 8 Nori. Really nice Rio there. And then Yuri Tillemans, potential for midfielder number 1. Obviously, the hardest thing, I think in that last set of 5 packs, we only managed to get ourselves one goalkeeper, which was Alisson, but we are very thankful. So we need to hope that we get another goalkeeper here. I mean, if we only get one again, and it's an absolute shocker with a bad game, it's not going to be looking good. But pack number 2, can we get, off the bat, we get Bart Verbruggen. I don't know who Brighton have this weekend, but that's not a bad one at all. Bruno Guimaraes, Robbie Fowler Pro Precision, that's a really nice card there. Simon Francis, Tekers Malin. We have Botman for Newcastle, Riyadh, and then we have another goalkeeper choice if we are in the Turkish league. Unfortunately, Edison does not play for City anymore, and Donnarumma is not in this set of packs. Pack number 3, we are absolutely flying through these. Give me something good. So we have Oliver Scott. Is that Scarlett? Scars. Don't know who that is. Hannibal. Harrison Murray. He definitely gets no game time for Chelsea. The Bournemouth badge. Visa, who isn't even at Brentford anymore. He's obviously at Newcastle. I think he's yet to play for them. Robbie Keane, retired years ago. Doku, that is one that we definitely could use. He could be the forward for team number 2. Do not mind that at all. Murillo, decent player for Nottingham Forest. Agbadu. And then we have Darwin Núñez, who I don't even know where he is anymore. I'm pretty sure he's probably left Liverpool because I have not seen him on the pitch. Even though Liverpool have enough strikers that can't hit a barn door at the moment. Pack number 4. Bogle. Joe Bellingham. Martinelli. Rutter, Nketiah, Pro Partnership, Enzo Lafitte and Patrick Roberts. It's a shame on one of these cards it isn't Xhaka, because that would be a really nice one to have. Full Force Calvin Bassey, Kinski for Tottenham, Pau Torres, and then Mateta as another option up forward has been smashing it for Crystal Palace. Team 2 is definitely looking nowhere near as good as Team 1. So going into the last pack, we need to hope that we can get some big hits, some big Premier League players. And starting off with Connor Roberts, it's not looking great. Brendan Aronson for Leeds. Gabriel, he's unfortunately injured for Arsenal. Lewis Dunk for Brighton. Kudus, potentially we could use him as his Spurs card. Kamara hasn't had the worst season for Aston Villa. Aston Villa, of course, doing very well. Pro Partnership, Darren Anderton and Teddy Sheringham. That is an absolute throwback. Of course, we're not going to be able to use either of those. Matteo Joseph, Kamada, and Vitor Reis completes the second set of 5 packs. Let's get into the teams that we'll be using. So it's time for me to show you guys the teams that we're going to build using the players that we have just pulled in the packs. So in front of me, I have the first 5. So if I put it in order, in goal, we're going to have Alisson. Quite a nice fixture against Leeds. Fingers crossed he can do pretty well. Liverpool have been conceding quite a lot recently. In defence, we have Gavardiol. A really nice numbered card. Really happy with that pull. Gavardiol's been putting up some big scores, and I'm hoping that we don't get too much rotation. In midfield, another player that I'm actually excited for because I need to add into my gallery is Phil Foden. Really excited to pull him and use him. He is going to be our midfielder for team number 1. And then we've gone for double attack up front. So the first one is going to be Mbeumo. Can't remember off the top of my head who they're playing this weekend. But obviously, he's not going to be playing for Brentford. He's going to be playing for Manchester United. And then joining him up top, just because I know he's going to start, and it's a game against Bournemouth, which hopefully we can do well in, we have gone for Pedro Neto to complete team number 1. Then going into team number 2, I think we only pulled one goalkeeper. So that is going to be Verbrugghen for Brighton. Brighton have been pretty good recently. There's a chance of a clean sheet, but, you know, you never know, especially with Brighton. Sometimes they just leak goals, but they're also good at scoring them. We've then got another Chelsea player in Team 2. Well, not in Team 2. We only have one in Team 1. We've gone for Cucurella, an absolute animal at left back. And fingers crossed he can have a solid performance and a clean sheet against Bournemouth. In midfield, he didn't start in the midweek, so I'm pretty confident he's going to be starting. And that is Bruno Guimaraes. He's going to be playing against Burnley. Fingers crossed he can have a good result. Another player I'm excited to add to my gallery. I used to have him, but I got rid of him. But his scores have been pretty good as of late. He's been outperforming Tonali. And then we're once again going for double attack. With the first one being Mohamed Kudus of Tottenham. Not of West Ham, as shown in the picture. Of Tottenham. Tottenham have been absolutely shocking of late. But I feel this is a fixture they can do well in. I think they're against Brentford. And then to finish it off, one of the most informed players in the Premier League is going to be Jeremy Doku, and he is probably going to be my captain choice in team number 2. So it is Sunday morning, and Saturday games have been played, and we had some good results. Some, opening the packs has picked me up some pretty nice cards, which I'm excited to keep in the gallery. Some we already had, like this team here. Most of the players I had except Foden. Alisson Becker conceding 3 goals against Leeds is just so frustrating. But I'm not complaining about it. I'm a Chelsea fan and I like to watch Liverpool doing badly. Defence-wise, Gvardiol with a goal again. Absolutely smashing it. Ruben Dias would have been the better City defender to go with, but we can't complain. In midfield, our Phil Foden has picked up a goal and an assist. A really nice Rabona pass from Cherky to set up Foden for a goal. And he was our captain, which was a solid pick. Pedro Neto did absolutely nothing against Bournemouth. I don't think any Chelsea player did anything against Bournemouth. It was a painful game, and thank God Sanchez was in good form. And then we are waiting on Mbeumo to play. So this week, we are going for streak number 1. So we only need to hit 360 points. We're 69 away, and that is very possible for Mbeumo against a Wolves side that is struggling massively. So hopefully this team can finish off well. We then have team number 2, and this team has done very, very well. Not the highest of scores, but in general, there's some good scorers in there, especially Guimaraes. Cucurella picking up a 56. Guimaraes with a goal against Burnley and picking up a score of 94. Would have been higher if they didn't concede late on. Kudus with a score of 59. Unfortunately, couldn't get on the score sheet or couldn't provide an assist, but still had a really good game for a forwards pick up 59. That's pretty good going. And then Jeremy Doku, who we went as captain picking up 65. So we are sitting pretty on 337 points. We need 23 more to hit the first streak. And I also need to hit 380 because there's quite a few of you guys who are counting on me for the 380 duos. So fingers crossed Verbrugghen can get a clean sheet. I only really need him to get a score of about 40, and that should hit me the 380. So fingers crossed it pans out that way. So guys, that is it for today. Fingers crossed we can hit the first streak, because if we do, we're going to run it back again next week. I have more tins, more packs to open. So if we hit 360, we'll be running it back and we'll be going for 380 next weekend. So fingers crossed these two teams in front of you can do it. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. The support is always appreciated. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. We are chasing 2,000 subscribers, which is just absolutely mind-blowing to me. Also, if you guys aren't following me over on X, make sure to head over there because I'm currently doing my Christmas advent calendar and I've given away 5 or 6 cards so far. So if you're not over there, you're just missing out. But thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you on Tuesday where we're going to see how these teams pan out, see if we hit that streak, and then we should have a nice reward opening and probably quite a few Christmas crafts, depending on how Sunday goes. See you guys next time.